Leading Businesses, Leading Communities, presented by the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce in partnership with Insight. Sponsored by St. Elizabeth Healthcare and hosted by the President of the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, Steve Stevens.
Welcome to Leading Businesses, Leading Communities. This program is produced in partnership with Insight and made possible through the sponsorship of St. Elizabeth Healthcare. St. Elizabeth brings the best thinking from around the globe right here to Northern Kentucky, because the human specialists at St. Elizabeth Healthcare believe that each person in our community should have access to world-class care throughout every stage of life. St. Elizabeth Healthcare, the best of what's human and humanly possible. The Northern Kentucky Chamber involves our members in the top local business, civic, and community priorities. Our economy is driven by businesses of all types and sizes. This program showcases 3 leading businesses that are members of our chamber to help you get to know our business community better. And our first guest today is Dr. Jennifer Dively, audiologist with the Community Services of Northern Kentucky, Audiology and Hearing Aid Department. Their goal is to provide you and your loved ones with the highest quality care in the most affordable manner. Between 25 and 30 million Americans suffer from hearing loss, and Community Services of Northern Kentucky offers comprehensive assessments for children and adults for many communication and related disorders. Services include audiology services, vestibular balance disorders clinic, and hearing aid sales and service. Our second guest is Sue Cruz with Marco Polo Travel, located in Florence. Travel agents at Marco Polo pride themselves on their knowledge, expertise, and creativity in helping with your travel plans, whether it be a complex round-the-world flight or a beach holiday in the sun. Always aware of the constant changes and developments in the world of travel, Marco Polo's staff frequently explore new destinations and update old favorites and put together trips that don't appear in the regular travel brochures, saving you time from doing the research yourself on the internet. And today's third guest is Lydell Thomas, president of Heritage Bank. Heritage Bank was chartered in 1990 by a group of local businessmen who, in the face of expanding interstate banks and national bank holding companies, wanted to preserve the concept of local banking. They believed then, as they do now, that there is great benefit in personal banking, knowing your customers on a first-name basis and understanding the financial needs of individuals, families, and their businesses. Today's guest on our Health and Wellness segment will be Dr. Ned Melman, a cardiologist and director of the Women's Cardiac Division at St. Elizabeth Healthcare. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women today. In fact, 1 in every 3 women is affected by this pervasive and often devastating illness. By comparison, breast cancer affects only 1 in every 8 women. In other words, heart disease is a primary health concern for all women today. The question is, are you at risk? St. Elizabeth's Women's Heart Program can help you determine where you stand in relation to heart disease, and should you need preventative or other types of treatment. So let's get started. Brent Cooper with C Forward and our chair of the board will lead us off by introducing our 3 Northern Kentucky businesses. So Brent, take it away.
Thanks, Steve. Today we'll meet with Dr. Jennifer Dively. She's an audiologist with Community Services of Northern Kentucky, Audiology and Hearing Aids. Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a bit about your organization?
Sure. We're a full-service audiology and hearing aid provider located in Florence. We operate with a nonprofit philosophy, so our goal is really just to help the community to hear better. We provide a full range of diagnostic testing that means everything from a basic hearing screening all the way to an in-depth hearing test that can provide a lot of information about a person's hearing and communication abilities. In addition to providing hearing testing, we also provide some special diagnostic testing for auditory processing disorders, for vestibular and balance disorders as well. Once a person has a hearing test, they may wonder what the next step is and what options are available to them. And for many people, that means a hearing aid, and we are a full-service hearing aid provider. We offer a wide range of different manufacturers, as well as a wide range of hearing aids. And so we step that person all the way through the process from the very beginning of diagnosis through treatment.
Now, I understand you all have a new program to help people with hearing loss. Can you tell folks a bit about that?
Sure, we'd love to. We're very, very excited about a new program that we have that's called CORE. It stands for Community Outreach for Ears. It's newly launching this month. We understand and that is a lot of difficulty for people to obtain hearing aids, and so what our core program is doing is reaching out to members of the community that have hearing loss and helping them start somewhere by helping them begin to get basic digital entry-level technology at a reduced cost for them. And so there's an application process that we go through. There are some financial guidelines that are attached to it, but they're pretty broad, so we invite everybody that even possibly thinks that they might have a problem with hearing or communication to take a look on our website and download the application, or stop by our office and pick up one today.
Now, can you tell folks why it is so important that they get a hearing test?
Absolutely. Like I kind of mentioned before, we know that through research that at least 1 in 6 Americans have some sort of communication disability, and that affects people greatly. It can be anything from problem learning in the classroom because they're not able to get the information. It can affect your employment. We know that people that have a hearing loss that do not treat it, their earning income is typically greatly reduced, and also can cause issues with difficulty communicating within the family structure and create a lot of stress there. Research has also shown us that people who have hearing loss that's left untreated have a greater incidence of dementia, their isolation is greater, and also depression is greater with people with hearing loss.
What should folks expect when they go in for a hearing test?
The first thing I tell people is not to be nervous or scared. It's a pretty simple process. When you walk in the door, you're going to be greeted by one of our receptionists. They're going to give you some paperwork to fill out, and that's going to be a full hearing health questionnaire. It's going to ask information not just about your hearing perception and needs, but it's also going to ask questions about your health in general, because we know that a lot of times there are health conditions and that can be related to hearing loss. So it helps us gather as much information as possible to also make an appropriate referral at the end of the process if we need to. Once they get there and you go in and you're going to have the hearing test, we're going to go over all of your answers, figure out if there's some questions that we want to finish up, and then we'll take a look in your ears and start the hearing test.
Well, thanks so much for what you do and for your organization. Can you tell folks how to contact you?
Sure, absolutely. You can reach us by phone at 859-525-1128 or take a look on our website at cfnky.org.
Thanks, Jennifer, for telling our viewers about the community services of Northern Kentucky Audiology and Hearing Aid Services. We'll be right back after this break.
When you think about it, courage is a muscle. You gotta keep it strong. Build it up, because you'd be surprised what that muscle can do. At St. Elizabeth Healthcare, orthopedics is designed to return your body to where it used to be. And even better, so you can feel confident again, physically and mentally able, getting you back to the things you love. St. Elizabeth Healthcare, the best of what's human and humanly possible.
Well, today I want to inform our viewers about important conversations taking place around the state concerning changes to Kentucky's tax code. Recently, the Blue Ribbon Tax Commission held one of 6 statewide public hearings at Northern Kentucky University. This commission, appointed by Governor Steve Beshear and led by Lieutenant Governor Jerry Abramson, has been tasked with identifying improvements to Kentucky's tax code that will not only create a more welcoming business environment, but will also allow the state to invest in the services and priorities that best position citizens for success. With Kentucky joining the nation in experiencing the worst economy in more than 75 years, the Commonwealth has revenue shortages, which are resulting in cuts to services, including education and public safety. The Northern Kentucky Chamber recognizes that in order for our region to maintain its economic vitality, the state must adopt a simplified tax code that supports business growth and competitiveness, that reduces the cost of capital and continues to focus on reductions in wasteful spending. At the recent Tax Commission meeting, recommendations were made by the Chamber specific to the region's ability to be more competitive in economic development. These recommendations include simplifying the tax collection system to be more user-friendly, implementing tax policies that are geared towards sectors with high net job growth and above average wages. Those would be things such as information technology and healthcare jobs. Modifying the corporate income tax to lower the tax burden on Kentucky's businesses. Implementing the individual angel tax credit to spur capital investment, job creation, innovation, and entrepreneurship, specifically to support programs in Northern Kentucky like the UpTech initiative, collecting non-resident withholding taxes, and other recommendations that were submitted to the Commission to include reducing the tangible personal property tax and sales tax on data centers, adopting a single sales factor apportionment in the corporate income tax, repealing or phasing out the inventory tax, eliminating the sales tax on postage for printing companies, and issuing a job retention tax credit for office, service, and technology jobs. After completing the 6 public hearings across the state, the Tax Commission will then convene to deliver its recommendations on policies and programs affecting the state's tax structure to the governor no later than November 15th. We'll be sure to update our viewers on the progress of this important work. And lastly, I want to personally invite members of the community to attend our upcoming Eggs and Issues Breakfast on Jobs of 2020. This informative event will examine our current and 10-year forecasted workforce needs across more than 800 occupations so that we can more effectively compete with our peer regions. What might the labor market of 2020 look like? How can our region capitalize on projected job growth? For more information and to register, visit the event calendar on our website. Well, right now we need to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll showcase another Chamber member business. So don't go away.
How do you get a jump on better health care? You start early. You build expertise and technology. Dedicate yourself to integrity. At St. Elizabeth, we're defining the future of health care for Northern Kentucky and beyond, because tomorrow's an opportunity, so we're starting early. Just like we did today. St. Elizabeth Healthcare, the best of what's human and humanly possible.
The time is coming. There's no escape from the day you retire. And will you be ready financially?
Are you ready, dear?
Saving for your financial future doesn't have to be a nightmare. Choose to save.
Welcome back. Right now we're meeting with Sue Cruz with Marco Polo Travel. This is exciting for me because I've actually used Marco Polo Travel before. I know what a terrific company they have. Sue, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
Now tell us a little bit about Marco Polo Travel and why people would use your organization rather than the internet.
I feel like the biggest thing is you actually have a name and a face. It's not just a .com, it's not an 800 number. Plus our expertise. The internet has become increasingly big, but it's also very overwhelming. So we have a lot of people that will call in. They've spent hours on the internet, and they're still not really sure what they want, what's best for them. We can go through, we let them know what destinations and even possibly resorts are the best for them, because everybody's different. Travel is unique to each person for your interests, and we have a lot of connections with our travel suppliers, that we have a lot of inside information. And I think there's a misconception that the web is the cheapest way to go, which isn't always true. We have a lot of specials that we know about, and again, our connections can really give you the best deal, but also the best trip for your own individual.
Right, and I know I've had situations where we've gone to a specific destination, and you guys have said, well, you might save some money if you go in this room as opposed to this room. It's the same type of thing. I mean, you guys do that all the time, right?
Right, correct. And even just resorts. Sometimes people think a resort is out of their budget, and when in fact it's on special, or we know something that's going on with it, and we can get you there. And sometimes it might just be a few dollars more. Better experience.
Yeah. Now, what types of travelers do you work with?
We're full service agencies, so we do corporate and we do vacation. Vacation can be anywhere from honeymooners to family getaways, but also we do a lot of groups as well, whether it be a golf trip, girlfriend spa getaway, family reunions. We kind of run the gamut. We do pretty much a little bit of everything.
And what are some of the best destinations these days? What are the most requested?
Well, the biggest ones are still your tried and true. We have Hawaii, of course, for couples, and we have Disney for families. The all-inclusives have become very popular. It's more of a stress-free way to get away, not worry about money while you're there. But we've also noticed a trend where a lot of our clients are a lot more well-traveled these days, so they're looking for something maybe a little different, maybe a little more action-packed, like your Costa Rica is a good one. And then, of course, places in Europe. Sometimes people like to go a little more off the beaten path to some of the smaller cities that, again, that you may not find on the internet as much. But we can put together a trip especially for you, and again, kind of to your interests.
Yeah. Now, I understand there are destination weddings now are becoming popular. Is that something that you can provide as well?
I can. I've done several, and a lot of times the bride will come to me, and again, we find the right resort for them. Sometimes they'll want more of an intimate wedding. Other times they'll be inviting a lot of family and friends. So I'll find out first best destination or resort for them, and then what we do is we give them the requirements for getting married. Different countries have different requirements, and then I can do the logistics. I get all of the people in there besides themselves, and they just have to, at that point, all they have to worry about is the actual details of the ceremony.
Fantastic. Well, can you tell our viewers how they can get a hold of Marco Polo Travel?
Yes, by phone, our number is 859-525-2232, or on our website, www.travelbymarcopolo.com. And we're actually located right in the Florence area on US 42.
Sue, thank you so much for telling our viewers about the world of travel and the services of Marco Polo. We'll be right back after this break.
Maybe you see something suspicious, but you don't want to get involved. It's nothing, you think. Can you be sure? If you see something, say something. Report suspicious activity to local authorities.
Welcome back. I'm excited to be joined now by Mr. Lytle Thomas, who is president of Heritage Bank and also our next chair of the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce. Lytle, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Brent. It's great to be back.
Now, Heritage was in the news a lot in the springtime. Can you tell me about your recent merger with Farmers Bank?
Yes, we had the opportunity to purchase Farmers National Bank, which really was a great fit for us and for them. And what that did, it basically added about $85 million in asset size to our balance sheet, which grew us to a $500 million asset size bank. Now, what that really means is that we're in the top 25 in size for community banks in Kentucky. And that really makes us a safer, sounder, larger community bank.
Well, congratulations on all that. Now, where are the new locations for the bank?
Well, our new locations, we added 5 additional locations, and those were in Alexandria, in Butler and Falmouth, as well as Independence and down in Walton. But actually, the more exciting part than the locations were the employees that came. That's always the best asset when you have a community bank. And we added 34 people to our Heritage family that have just been a great fit. They have the same commitment to customer service and community involvement that Heritage Bank exemplifies.
What are the benefits of working with a community bank?
Well, as a customer of a community bank, you have local decision making, you have local people that are involved with you, you get personal attention. The other piece I think people often overlook is that a community bank can only be as strong as the community is willing to support it. And I think if you look at the employees of Heritage Bank, we're involved in many things in our community. That includes charitable organizations like Lifeline Ministry, That includes our school systems. We are involved with junior achievement, with one-on-one reading. We go into the classrooms to help educate kids about what the real world is like after they get their education. And further upon that, our board of directors are very committed to education. They meet with and interview high school soon-to-graduate seniors and award scholarships to seniors from high schools in each county where we do business to help them further their education after high school. So the bank is very, very involved in the community.
Well, thank you for all that you do. Now, what are the bank's plans regarding innovative services for customers?
Well, we have continued to upgrade and enhance our services that we offer. One of the first things that we did after the merger was look at our checking account products, and we really took the best of both and put those together. So we have a new array of checking accounts with enhanced features and benefits. We also have upgraded our website, and we have, as part of that, an enhanced bill payment system for both consumer and for business bill pay. And we've gone out on social media. We are out on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, and you can find us out there trying to surf the internet.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Now, as you get ready to assume the role as chamber chair, what are some things you're excited about?
Well, I'm just excited to be part of the chamber. I always have been, and I'm flattered that I have the opportunity to be the chair. Quite frankly, you've left some pretty big shoes to fill as chair of the chamber, but the chamber is such an integral part of our community, and it's the place where people can come together to talk and debate and to work out solutions to issues that face our community, and that's why I'm passionate about the chamber.
Well, we're passionate about you, and we're excited for Heritage Bank and all the developments. Thank you so much for being here today. Now, can you tell our viewers a little more about how to find Heritage Bank? What's the best way to contact you?
Well, we can be reached on the phone at 859-586-9200 or on our website, which is heritagebank-ky.com.
Thanks, Lytle. Thanks again for being on the show, and we'll be right back.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Well, folks, welcome back, and thanks for staying tuned to Leading Businesses, Leading Communities. Our health and wellness segment is sponsored by Humana, and it offers a wide range of insurance products and health and wellness solutions for employers and individuals. Humana has learned that people are in better health when they're active and engaged in their social lives, their communities, and their families. Humana helps people achieve lifelong well-being by offering products and programs that meet an individual's physical, social, and emotional needs. Northern Kentucky Chamber members receive preferred pricing on Humana's medical, dental, vision, and life products. Contact your health benefits broker for more information, or you can visit humana.com. With me today is Dr. Ned Melman. He's a cardiologist and director of the Women's Cardiac Division at St. Elizabeth Healthcare. Dr. Melman, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Glad to have you.
Pleasure to be here.
So we're going to focus on women's heart health today, and we heard some statistics at the beginning of the show that are kind of scary, that heart disease and heart illness, really are bigger than breast cancer, and a lot of folks will be surprised about that. But why the focus on women rather than just heart in general?
Well, first of all, it was discovered, as various studies which were done in the last 150 years, that there's been a lot of progress made in terms of treating heart disease. But as it turned out, as I started to break down the data, the progress in women lagged behind, and there were various reasons for that. It was appreciated that women often present differently with heart disease. And despite the fact that they perhaps anatomically have less, what appears to be less severe heart disease, turn out it's not less severe because they end up doing much more poorly over the long run. And as a result of that, there's been a tremendous focus in terms of education from the standpoint of educating doctors, physicians, cardiologists, and primary care physicians in terms of that more focus should be done in terms of diagnosing and treating women's issues, but also on women themselves.
And the candidates for your program in particular would be whom, and the types of services that they would be coming to see?
Okay, so we're not interested. We certainly, if we happen to pick up a patient and comes in, we diagnose heart disease, we certainly would pass that along to the appropriate, we make the appropriate referral to treat that. That's not what we're interested in. We want to pick up the people before they actually have clinical disease. So we're interested in people who are running busy lifestyles. Perhaps their lifestyles are not ideally what they should be. Perhaps someone is overweight, someone who has a positive family history, someone who is perhaps wasn't aware that of all the symptoms of heart disease, and suddenly finds out that several aunts or uncles have just been have recently passed away, or they've had premature issues with heart attacks or strokes, and all of a sudden they become very frightened. They want to know, well, what's my risk?
We have about a minute left. Talk a little bit about the services and the collaboration between some of the folks that are involved in your program, and where are you and how do they access you?
We're located, we can either be accessed through the website at St. Elizabeth Hospital. If you go to services and under women's wellness, and then there's a separate segment there that says women's heart health. You just access that way, or there's a phone number, and we are actually located at Fort Thomas Hospital in the Women's Wellness Center. And what we're providing in a boutique-like atmosphere is we want in an affordable way to basically give a woman an accurate assessment of where they're holding in terms of their potential risk of heart attacks and vascular disease down the line. And we'd like to tailor-make a program for them vis-a-vis exercise, diet, other modifications that would potentially lower her risk of heart disease down the line. The other issue that's important is we want women because, number one, they're the main issue that we're trying to deal with, but also they run their families. So if you get a woman on board, then you have her family, you have her husband also. Yeah, well, certainly a critical issue that folks really need to pay attention to. Dr. Millman, thanks. That's all the time we have. Thanks for being on our show, sharing this very important information. Folks, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up this edition of Leading Businesses, Leading Communities, so don't go away.
Where can I go to ensure economic vitality and business opportunities?
Where networking and business contacts are provided to grow my business.
Where workforce solutions are provided.
Where I can connect with others on important business issues and community needs.
To get cost-saving benefits from other businesses in the area.
Where I can publicize my business in Northern Kentucky.
Join the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, leading businesses, leading communities.
Folks, that's about all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank our guests from the Business Focus segment of today's program. First, Dr. Jennifer Dively with Community Services of Northern Kentucky, Sue Cruz with Marco Polo Travel, and Lytle Thomas with Heritage Bank. We also had Dr. Ned Melman, a cardiologist and director of the Women's Cardiac Division at St. Elizabeth Healthcare. Finally, we thank our title sponsor, St. Elizabeth Healthcare, and our friends right here at Insight who co-produced this program with us. The Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce provides unique opportunities for businesses by creating a climate for growth and success. Our members make a difference by connecting to important business, civic, and community priorities through the Chamber. We invite you to have your business showcased right here on our show. Please contact the Chamber for more information. For the latest business news, Chamber events, and programs, please follow us on Twitter at NKY Chamber, and be sure to find us on Facebook and LinkedIn. All businesses are invited to join the Northern Kentucky Chamber by visiting our website at www.nkychamber.com, or you can just call us at 859-578-8800. Thanks for watching Leading Businesses, Leading Communities. We'll see you next time.
You've been watching Leading Businesses, Leading Communities, a presentation of the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce in partnership with Insight, sponsored by St. Elizabeth Healthcare. For more information about this program or to join the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, please call 859-578-8800. or visit www.nkychamber.com.